Building a resilient Jamaica is
Family Time, 5:30 p.m.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Love 101 FM, and you're listening to Family Time. I want to welcome all of you on Facebook and on YouTube Live. And my name is Roland Gale. This is Family Time, and this is about your issues, your relationships, your at-home family, your community family, and your global family. Family Time is produced by Family Life Ministries, and our aim is to enable healthy families, which will lead to healthy nations. Stay with us. And if you are not listening on the regular radio, you can catch us on Facebook and on YouTube. And of course, you can also get us on Instagram. Today, we're going to talk about the fact that every single child should be part of a healthy and happy home. But how can we achieve that? Because we know some children may not have parents or guardians or people who are available to take care of them. So how can I, and our families be a loving family for a child who needs one? Well, we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to hear about one family's experience in this particular program. And we're calling this program today Fostering the Foster-Friendly Home. And that's important. It's really important here in Jamaica. Now, as usual, we want to hear from you. And I suspect that when we're talking about fostering, you may have questions. And you may have your own experiences that you want to share. So send your messages, send your questions, send your thoughts to us via WhatsApp text and voice notes. And make sure the voice notes are no longer than 30 seconds, all right? Send them to these numbers, 997-3125, or you can call the studio line at 968-8327 or 968-8328, and you put 876 before that, and you can participate that way, right? And you can also comment when you're watching live on Love 101 Facebook, or you can comment on YouTube. We're going to be right back. We're going to be right back, and we're going to join our pastors, Andrew and Donette Norman. Don't go anywhere, all right? It's going to be a good evening.
Who is Noah? Where is he from? And what was his eventual role in all our lives in history? Join us for The Rock with Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests, Reverend Michael McAnuff Jones and Winton Williams, as we look at the topic, The Man Noah. Tuesday, May 2 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Yay! Get ready for an inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Tuesday, May 2. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with Morning Coffee Pick Me Up Devotional at 6 a.m. Then, at 7 a.m., we bring you The Morning Watch with intriguing and thought-provoking discussions. 8:30 a.m. Inside the Healthy Way, we discuss anemia. At 9:15 a.m., we give love shout-outs to some creatives and businesses that are leaving footprints in their respective fields. Then, at 9:35 a.m., the phone lines are open for A Voice for Hope, a time for listeners to call and share challenges faced and the help needed regarding light, water, and more in your community. Stick and stay with us this Island Vibes Tuesday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Family Time on Love 101. And we want to welcome Pastors Andrew and Donette Norman, who are our special guests this evening. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you hear me okay? Oh, okay. I'm not hearing you too clearly. Could you say that again, please?
We're hearing you fine.
Yes, I heard you that time.
Okay, okay. Yeah, all right.
Good evening, Donette. How are you? I am well. I'm well. I am giving God thanks for this evening. Now, I want to let our listeners know that Pastors Andrew and Donette Norman are foster parents right now, and they have two foster children. They're trained teachers, trained guidance counselors, marriage officers, and ordained ministers. Now, remember, guys, we want to hear from you, our audience. Share any experiences or questions you may have about anything to do with fostering a child. We have the expertise here to answer, not me, but the pastors who are here. So, WhatsApp your text and voice notes. Make sure they're no longer than 30 seconds to 997 3125. Watch us and comment live on Love 101 Facebook and on YouTube. All right? Time flies fast. So let's get going into this program. And I want to ask our guests, what is fostering?
All right. So, the official understanding of these things from a standpoint. Foster care is a temporary arrangement. Foster for guardians for children whose parents are currently unable to provide for them. All right? Yeah. So the FCC's main aim is to provide quality care for children of a family where they can call home. Yeah.
Okay, understood. What is the difference between adoption and fostering?
The fostering is temporary. Adoption is the and child belongs to child
Holy and holy.
I'm sorry, I didn't get everything you said. Could you repeat that?
Fostering is when you bring up a child. Temporary. Adoption is a legal process where you take the child and put the child from your age and the girl to government. No longer take responsibility of the child. The child is not the word. Child no belonging to parents.
Usually get the name of the child. The child usually gets named last month period.
Okay, no problem. Good. I like that distinction. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to discuss that a little more. All right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right.
Who is Noah? Where is he from? And what was his eventual role in all our lives in history? Join us for The Rock with Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Reverend Michael McAnuff Jones and Winton Williams as we look at the topic, The Man Noah. Tuesday, May 2 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Perspectives through the generations. Life in a man's world. Join us Wednesday, May 3 for the mailbox as guest Kenil Allen talks basketball, marriage, music, videography, and so much more. Right here on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Yay! Get ready for an inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Tuesday, May 2. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with Morning Coffee Pick Me Up Devotional at 6 a.m. Then at 7 a.m., we bring you the Morning Watch with intriguing and thought-provoking discussions. 8:30 a.m. inside the Healthy Way, we discuss anemia. At 9:15 a.m., we give love shout-outs to some creatives and businesses that are leaving footprints in their respective fields. Then at 9:35 a.m., the phone lines are open for A Voice for Hope, a time for listeners to call and share challenges faced and the help needed regarding light, water, and more in your community. Stick and stay with us this Island Vibes Tuesday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. And we have with us today our guests, the Normans, who are foster parents. And before the break, they were telling us the difference between fostering and adoption. And adoption is a permanent thing where the child actually gets the last name of the adoptive parents, whereas fostering is not permanent, but you shower the child with love and you treat them the way you would treat your own children. And you do for them everything you would do, except that they are still wards of the state. Did I get that right?
Correct.
Great. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that right. So, a question for you as well now. Why did you decide to foster instead of adopt?
Well, we tended to adopt very long and tedious one, and so the intention is there, but we thank God for the family life ministries.
I am sorry, listeners. I don't know if you guys heard what she was saying, but I wasn't able to hear. What I would ask you to do is try to put the microphone as close to you as possible when you're speaking. Go again.
Are you hearing me better now?
A little better, yes.
Okay, so let me go there again. I'm just saying that yes, it's intention to adopt as always there, and but in Jamaica, I'm not sure of other countries. The process of adoption is very the long process and very complex. It's actually adopted. The intention is there, but there's for family life ministries and intervention program that we have. Right.
Right. So the adoption is a very long process and you wouldn't be able to get that done quickly. So fostering was an option which allowed you to begin almost immediately, right? How did you go about fostering?
Well, for us, I would say it's a very tight story in the sense that we had in the papers for adoption many years and not getting anywhere. And then one day, Dr. Don flexible, and there was a call from Holly McFarlane from Family Life Ministries, and was just sharing with us, with me, the benefits of fostering and encouraging me to take fostering up. And I told her that right now we're sharing fostering.
Sorry, you told her right now what?
Right now we wouldn't have any time for this. I was during the middle of preparing for a passion. She just took and said, I will help. I will come and I'll get the document. I'll get the record done. And she was so convinced and spoke that thought that was excellent parent. And I'm telling you, her ministry that we just allowed her to walk through. And shortly after, spoke to us and by October the past, and she was the director then for the program. And when she passed, I think that died. And Lord, just it was such an impartation of that spirit of love that has children, and we just said yes, Lord. So for us, it was trying instruction provoked by calling from family life.
So you can imagine that we would have given up the process. We not working with us at all or something wrong with us at all. But her encouragement and her growth, her lifting, and she wasn't just telling us to go do something, she was going to help us through the process. All right, Lord. Give us the strength to take another step. And Joe said, so done. He was really, really very helpful. He got things going, and Lord, we were getting smiling.
All right. That sounds like it was a definite divine intervention, and it was very, very timely what took place and how the people helped you as well. What I'm going to ask you to do is let us take another quick break, and we're going to give you a call so that we can hear you a little better because you're still breaking up. And I want our listeners to catch every moment of this. All right. So we're going to take another break. Don't go anywhere. This is an interesting program. Stick with us. All right.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. Right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
Who is Noah? Where is he from? And what was his eventual role in all our lives in history? Join us for The Rock with Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Reverend Michael McAnuff Jones and Winton Williams as we look at the topic, The Man Noah. Tuesday, May 2 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
And he knows my name. Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today, 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself,
Welcome back. Welcome back. We still have with us our pastors, the Normans, and we are so happy that they are with us. Andrew and Donette, it's a pleasure to have you on with us today. And I know we've been having a little technical difficulties, but I saw it go. Don't worry about it. All right. Can you hear me okay? You just muted. Go again.
Are you able to hear us now clearly?
Oh, I'm hearing you clearly now. Great. But
Okay.
I'm hearing myself. And I'm hearing myself too. All right. But I want to hear you clearly. So let's go again. In terms of divine intervention, that sounded like exactly what took place.
Certainly.
Great. Is there anything that you had to do? Any kind of training, any kind of interviews, meetings, stuff like that? Did you have to do that?
Certainly, and we give God thanks and Mrs. Burnside from Family Life Ministry, my Lord. She walked us through every moment Yes, there are interviews there. Um, the visitations to your house to see the house to check out whether or not you're able.
Them fast in your
Training,
business?
pardon me?
Of
Yes,
course, of course. Yeah, they
training,
were
yeah.
training on every side, really, on all sides, you
Right.
know.
Because CPFSA did their training and their
Right.
visitation. And of course, you have to agree for visitation from social workers from both sides because this is a partnership. But hats off to Family Life because they have really been trying to help speed up the process. And so there was help from both sides. So it's interviews, background checks, and you have to do medicals. It's quite an intensive time, but we can see why they would need to do that.
I think you mentioned it already, but can you tell me how long it took? How long the process took?
Well, for us, Miss McFarlane spoke to us in July. Then October, she started the process. And certainly after that, Mrs. Burnside, I remember the day she called at work. That was about March 17th. And then by April 21st, we had our children.
So it probably took about 6 months.
Yes,
Right.
About 6 months. Wow. That actually sounds like a long time, but in the way that these things work, it's probably very fast.
certainly.
It could have taken longer, but she would call to offer younger children that are able that needs to be fostered. So it depends on children are available. Children are always available. So it depends on the criteria that the parent has.
Understood. I was doing some checks and I understand that there are about 3,000 children in Jamaica who would need or who would benefit from foster care. So, my question to you is this: how did you meet the ones that you have, and how did you decide on which ones you wanted?
Again, for us, it was being led of the Lord because she would call to say, okay, there are a set of twins and they are 2 years old or and whatever. But because we wanted children we could talk to and train, we wanted older children. She would definitely be looking out for those children. Both Family Life and CPFSA. But the day she called, she had a criteria that we had not stipulated. And so when she called and gave us the ages, um, I was just about to say, oh
No
no.
way.
And then the Lord said they are the ones. And
Wow.
so we actually said yes to them without meeting them. In our hearts, we knew that they were the ones. God said they were the ones that we should have as part of our family.
We were not disappointed in meeting them. Um, you know, yeah, in meeting them, we were even more convinced.
That they were the one. That's so cool. I get the impression because of how you talk about it that you were actually parents that the CDA wanted to have on board. What makes you ideal foster parents? What makes the both of you perfect for this?
Well, I guess being educators would possibly be a good thing. Also, we work a lot with teenagers, which my wife took a teenager. I had studied a little bit on interacting with teenagers. I remembered my teenage years, so it was really a stretch for us to get a 5-year-old. That one, yeah, I almost got a few gray hairs. Like, Lord help me, I had to pray hard. And he is a very expressive young man, and so you know, yeah.
Well, we had actually from first form to fifth form, so it was easy. Um, when you love, you can care. You love children, you can care.
And
The ones
both
who
of
love
us,
them.
both of us are pretty much first, um, our first, families. The first child, she's second, but technically it's almost like first. First was a marriage between her mother and father, and
Right.
being that we had to mentor our siblings. I think that also helps. Also, we must mention passion and beauty. We always are working with children, both for a job, on our job, and also in ministry. So all of those things contributed.
Okay,
And we
cool.
in family, I mean, marriage, God's way. Yeah.
That sounds like some really interesting criteria. Were there any specific things that you saw on the forms that you had to fill out that you wondered to yourself, oh boy, I don't think I can manage this?
No, I think the hats off to those who are taking care of children for the state. I think that they really, really care about the children. And so questions that they asked, we found them to be very relevant. We found those who came to do the interviews and to do the inspections to be persons who really had children's interest at heart. On both sides, on the CPSA and for family life. But the thing I liked about family life is because it's a Christian-based organization, and trust me, I really, really appreciate the effort that Dr. Bardi have made over the years. And this is one of the projects that comes from his ministry that I would say that, guess what? I really like the approach. And this ministry, incidentally, is the Defining Information.
And they don't just, it's not just that we get the children and that's it. They have been like really regular visits from Family Life Ministries. Like you wonder, like, okay, they come like every 2 weeks or whatever, like really regular and like pointed questions just to see how they're going.
Only, but I mean, they're in there. But just to say that this program, for the child foster care program is a private foster care program administered by Family Life Ministries in partnership with Child Protection and Family Services Agency of the Government of Jamaica and Nairn Family Homes in Canada. So we meet the Canadians who are a part of this process. They come like monthly and have workshops with parents. And just to say that this fostering, taking on these children, they have opened up a whole new world of workers from both sides, the Canadians, the
fun days.
You have fun days, you said?
It's a whole new world.
Yes.
Where we go with the children and they
Wow.
take care of us and fun days, the family life. And CPFSA too, they do have Christmas treats where children, so you meet a whole lot of parents and you meet a lot of workers who are really into this thing. It's been an exciting journey.
Wow, that sounds interesting. We're going to hear some more, but we are about on a break now. So I want to invite our listeners, all those who are watching us on YouTube and on Facebook, to share any experiences or questions you have about anything to do with fostering a child. All right? We want to hear what you have to say, what your questions are, and we're going to give you answers if we can. Okay? Watch, comment, and share what you're thinking. And just before we go to the break, we're going to have our friend who is going to bring to us Word to Flesh. And that's coming up now.
The month of May is Child Month, and today's tip from the Ministry of Education on how to treat our children is a good one. It suggests that we tell them that we love them. This is a very good thing to do. Child development specialists tell us that as a result, they will feel safe and secure, happy and confident, and be able to handle conflicts and anger better. In addition, bonding or attachment to a parent figure will be easier. Here are some more tips on how to make your home a child-friendly home. Number 1, have a God attitude toward them. Psalm 139 says, "Children are fearfully and wonderfully made." That indeed is true. But sometimes it's hard to tell children that we love them after they have said or done some very unloving things. But it helps to overcome bad circumstances if we have an attitude that is from Almighty God Himself, even when they don't behave like the special gifts they are. Number 3, have a God attitude toward them. I think I said that already, but I must say it again, because Ephesians 6 advises, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. So make your home a place where children are treated like the very person that created them, that's God Himself, and treated like the gifts that come from Him. They are indeed. And last but not least, make your home a place where they are introduced to the loving discipline and instruction that comes from God Himself. I'm Reverend Mike from Fellowship Tabernacle Ministries, and we just had a WTF moment.
When your shipments need to be there fast, it's simple. Choose DHL. With locations in over 220 countries worldwide, we are the #1 trusted express shipping company, here to help you share a piece of yard abroad. With over 50 years of experience, we provide competitive rates and daily discounts on shipments large and small. Get peace of mind knowing that your package is in safe hands and will get where it's going in time. From Jamaica to the world, DHL. Excellence simply delivered. Visit any DHL location island-wide to start shipping today. When your shipments need to be there fast, it's simple. Choose DHL. With locations in over 220 countries worldwide, we are the #1 trusted express shipping company, here to help you share a piece of yard abroad. With over 50 years of experience, we provide competitive rates and daily discounts on shipments large and small. Get peace of mind knowing that your package is in safe hands and will get where it's going in time. From Jamaica to the world, DHL. Excellence simply delivered. Visit any DHL location island-wide to start shipping today.
Now we're celebrating 30 years of music and family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of music and family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of love. 30 years of love.
How can you save? Saving can seem like a dream for many at the best of times. But here are a few ways you can kick off your saving journey. 1. Open a savings account at a regulated financial institution. 2. Develop a budget. 3. Track your spending.
This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Right now, I hope that our listeners have shared some of their thoughts, some of their questions with us, and we're going to get to them a little later on. Want to welcome the Normans back again. It's so great to have both Andrew and Donette. It's a pleasure to have you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, I'm hearing you great. I'm hearing you fine. It is so cool what you guys have done and what you are encouraging others to do. We spoke about adoption versus fostering, and I want to ask you, what do you think about the fact that these kids who are in your home, who you are pouring into, are, for want of a better word, not permanently yours? What do you think about that?
Very good question. I just feel like, hey, we're gonna make them better. I mean, when they leave us, they should be better. It doesn't matter. I mean, we are. Jesus said we should store up treasures in heaven. I mean, they are God's treasures, and we are pouring into them. It's not about all that we can keep for ourselves. It's about making people better. So that's just how I see it. I mean, even if they are your own children, your own biological children, that's the same responsibility we have. So, it's just about adding value to the children and really letting them experience that love that God said we should share with each other.
And also too, you you handle them in such a way that they know that they have a home with you as long as they're alive and we're alive.
They want to.
And they want to, so they know. So there's that assurance, and from where we sit as ministers, we are also very mindful of their biological parents, and pray with them about them, talk to them about them, and try as best as possible to let them see how much God loves them, that He could have put more than one person in their life to love them, but it's just that at this time they belong to us, and we are putting the papers for adoption. So for at least one so far, so we trust that God will work it out either way.
Oh, that's amazing. And you've said that you put in the papers for adoption for one. How did that decision come about? What made you decide to do that?
Remember, we had over the years wanted and have sent in the papers
For adoption. That was our intention.
Right. So because we already have files there, it's just a process, a part of the process.
It's just a part of the process. So in other words, fostering can probably help to lead to adoption much quicker and easier than starting with adoption. Is that true?
Yeah, yes,
exactly.
Absolutely, that's great. I'm glad to hear something like that. We are talking about pouring into and showering with love and all of those kind of nice things. Do you think there's any difference between loving a foster kid or an adopted kid versus your own, what you might want to call natural kid? Is there a difference?
I can tell you straight up that this is a hard thing, and like I just drop a child in your heart. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know that there. Well, I guess I've never had a biological, so I'm not sure. But boy, if there's any, I don't know how there could be much difference.
Well, the scripture says that the Lord will make women the joyful mother of children. I don't think that I could love my own biological one like I just love it anymore. Just the love of God for the person that He has just made a part of our life, and because we know Him and we're called according to His purpose, we know that this decision was even made before the foundation of the world. God had them in mind. The way we were connected, that initial bond, I'm telling you, it was so exciting, so dynamic. It was love at first sight for both of them because we had said yes in our heart.
Wow, this is just encouraging. This is kind of just making me feel so happy to hear how you're talking about these children and what you are doing for them. Want to ask you, and I know I'm going to probably put you on the spot now. I want to ask you to share two stories with us. One story, a story about how wonderful it is to have foster kids, and then another story about, man, I want to change my mind, or this is really giving me more trouble than I anticipated. First story is the one that says, this is giving me more trouble than I anticipated. Let's go with that one first.
All right, let me go first. Let me go first. I was comparing myself with a 5-year-old at that age and my stage of development academically. And so I got really, really scared. And I tried to do it one night, what can only be done over months or probably years. And I nearly. The fact is that COVID-19 has had an impact on these children. And, I don't know, there wasn't a lot of learning necessarily that took place online, especially for 5 years old. And not only that age, because I teach teenagers in high school, and that's the same experience that you're having. Matter of fact, one principal said that he was trashing the whole idea of learning loss until last December when we did the face-to-face exams. And he said, "Wait, what's going on?" So that's one experience that I had that really I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to leave this child into the care of those who are trained to teach this age group because
Even though you're a teacher.
yes, because my training was primarily to teach teenagers. I'm telling you, it's secondary level. It's a different story for those, pre-primary and pre-primary. Lord have mercy.
But then
Very
the
different.
compassion comes when you have learning loss and you
Mhm.
realize that they really need help.
Yeah.
You can't read that there yet. Right. But um just just the fact that they prayed, both of them said they were praying for parents, right? And the older one said she was praying and praying and praying.
Certainly,
Because
she's
the
a
call,
teenager.
the call that we got was that there are two children who are saying they need home. And the evening he walked into that home and saw the child, we asked, okay, we were asking questions and we were told no, they have to watch the bonding process first.
At least 4 visits.
At least 4 visits. And that young man, the boy walked in the room and looked at us and said, I want to go home. And the manager said, with who? And he looked at us and said, my parents. And then he had no clue we were going to look for the little girl that same evening. And he said, and can I have a sister? And when we picked them up that evening, and in the first minute, they were hugging each other in that car.
People are wondering if they are from the same
And they have
biological
never met each other.
parent. Yeah.
But that little young man, and by the way, he's when we left, he said, are you coming back for me next week? And we said yes. And we didn't get to go that Saturday. And we heard he was crying and he wanted to see his parents. And the day we went to pick him up about 2.5 weeks later, we were inside writing up the paper with one of the Jamaican best managers of our home, Mr. Cole, I'm telling you. And we heard him crying outside. And he's saying, why are you taking so long? Why are you taking? I want to go home. So God is in charge, and there are many children out there who definitely need this kind of intervention. And so if you are listening and God has been speaking to you,
you've been praying.
You've been praying. I want you to contact the Family Life Ministries and allow them to walk you through a beautiful experience. And if your heart is prepared for it, God can move, because now we are pouring in the knowledge of God in these children and we are seeing them pop up. And they know that you asked me finally what was one of my experiences, just to see them go back over the Christmas holidays and bring treats for their friends, walk around and hug up everybody. And so they know that they are being prepared to be a part of the ministers who will take on the nation's children.
Yeah, and just to send little voice notes, I love you. We see the home and the workers here as part of our family. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. So yeah.
Man, this is very good. I'm hoping we can have probably another hour or something to continue to talk, because time flies quickly and it's almost time for another break. However, I heard what sounded to me like, oh man, this is hard, and oh, this is so rewarding. What is it like day to day? What is it like just day to day? You get up in the morning and these kids are in your home and you're now required to look after them, to guide them, to discipline them, to disciple them. You're required to ensure that what's it like? Is it different from a regular day for you, or is it just par for the course?
Well, care takes time, and time that we possibly could have been using for other things, but it's so rewarding to know that, hey, these are lives that I can positively impact for the kingdom of God. I don't know that it's any different from a regular family home because that's what it is in our hearts. Yeah, and then we listen to the little comments that are made and the different. Yeah,
And
yeah.
these two are very loving. I mean, extra loving. Very kind, very caring. How you doing? Get your slippers, get your bag. Can I help you? That
Yes.
kind, they are
Yep.
very, very loving. Love,
Wow.
just loving.
How long have you actually had them with you? You probably said it,
Just make
but I'm
one
not sure if you had them from before COVID.
No,
year, 1 year.
April last year until now.
April 21st.
April 21st last year. So it's a year and a week or so. Wow. Okay. A year ago, April 21st, and this year, April 21st, was an anniversary, right? What did you guys do?
We went out and they wanted Chinese and we had a wonderful time. 1 year old together, 1 year old, and they are very
Yeah.
excited.
Noodles, no rice.
Oh boy, that's amazing. And that anniversary, it was planned. You guys decided to do it together, or you just said, okay, come, let's repeat that. I didn't hear.
We celebrated, we had fun, and they knew they were 1 year with us, and we had a wonderful time.
Wow, you made a big deal
But
out of it.
the beautiful thing about this, I'm encouraging someone, you may be listening, is that your extended family, if they know the Lord, who are they just love children, I'm telling you, the extended family from both sides, they have taken them on.
Yeah.
I mean, within a week, they were saying grandma and aunties and uncles, and they were just put in a sea of love, and they have so much love that surrounds them that it's amazing.
And it's a beauty to see them have new experiences that they've never had before. You know, like for the little boy going to the beach for the first time, he has questions like, Lord, and yeah. So these things.
Right. You had mentioned for us, right, that you are in contact with the biological parents. Is it for both or for one?
We are in contact with none of them.
Oh, you're in
None of
contact
them.
with none of them.
We keep them in
In
our
our
prayers,
prayers.
and we mention them, and they know that we love them.
Okay, my bad. I misunderstood that. Is there any kind of concern in your mind about the biological parents and the future concerning that?
Yeah. Well, when you mentioned the questions asked, I was going the tricky part of things. I heard the protocol surrounding how, say for example, the biological parent would want to visit or have a meeting with them. That's a little tricky. That part is a little tricky. So we pretty much just understand that. Listen, these guys, they have been doing this for a while, so we just try to follow the protocol, because we know there are legalities surrounding that and so on, and just wisdom. So that is we have to follow the guidelines there, for the safety of the children and for, all concerned, and so on. But like I said, we want healing for, any for family, and that includes their biological family, their relationship with them. We'd love to see it blossom and be everything that God wants that to be. So we're not intimidated by that, but we
Right.
understand that we have to follow the protocol.
Right. Were you going to say something, Donette?
Saying that it's the love of God in us that would cause us to want them to know that their parents are okay, even though we have never met them. Right? Because he said their protocols to follow.
Right. Okay. We are up on another break. We have only a short time to go, but I am going to invite our listeners to really send in some questions or some thoughts, share your experiences with us, and don't go anywhere. All right. We'll be right back with Pastors Andrew and Donette Norman. And I want to ask, you guys feel like fostering yet? Man, this is an amazing thing to do. Soon come back.
Cormac Auto Parts, your Honda Ridgeline new parts dealer located in Kingston. Call us at 326-7371 or 821-5232. Remember, we are your Honda Ridgeline new parts dealer located in Kingston. Call us at 326-7371 or 821-5232 now.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a quick break, and I'm glad for that. Welcome back to Pastors Andrew and Donette as well, the Normans. We have grown to know you in just a short space of time, and all I can say is you guys look like you have love for everybody. We just want to let the listeners know that it's about 6:22 p.m. Quick time check there. And we're going to continue our discussion. What is it that you think your kids have benefited most from? Is it physical? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? What have they benefited the most from by being under your care?
Well, I needed to have mentioned that one of the qualifying things for us possibly also is that we are both trained counselors. I want to think that, well, I know that they have benefited academically in terms of the attitude towards academics. The whole discipline is I think, the personal care in that, in a home, the workers there, they have so many children to deal with, now they can have a little bit more personalized care. So academically and definitely emotionally, emotionally, of course, emotionally, the security, I watch their emotional security just growing. And I'm like, Lord, help me not to do anything to damage that. Their spiritual perception of the things of God, yeah, definitely. And yeah, this little young man, he likes to run. So yeah.
How old is your daughter?
15.
15. Okay, so 10-year difference. Wow, that's great. All right, you mentioned that you are educators, you are counselors, you're both ordained ministers. For the regular person like me, I am none of those things, right? What are the criteria that they look for normally when they're looking for foster parents? Do you know?
So for CPFSA, they look for persons who have a suitable home, a steady income, educate, and they have well, this applies to family life as well. Suitable home, steady income. But for family life, you're a Christian, you're committed to raising a child, you love, respect, and care for children, you're a good citizen. This applies to both. You can provide food, clothing, shelter, and education for children. And you are between ages 25 and 26. You're a resident of Jamaica.
Ages between 25 and 65. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
And
Okay.
65. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what they look for. And some of the qualities are the same, but for family life, a Christian organization, they're looking for persons who are Christian or persons who are, respect the Lord, and that's their criteria.
I remember we spoke a little earlier on, and we were talking about the fact that you guys had like family fun days with the other entities who help with the fostering. Is there anything that you found encouraging about being able to interact with other foster families?
Oh, yes. I
Certainly.
mean, when you see that, when we go for the family life trips to the Hope Gardens, and we have had we have had two of those, and we have had a lot of online engagement. It's so good to meet a whole heap of parents and the children get to know each other, and they are part of, they see themselves as a part of a community of children that are being raised up in the fear and admonition of the Lord. I happen to have gone to one of the Christmas functions for the CPSA, and just the amount of children and the activities that were done are geared towards building family. So from both ends, what I'm advocating, Christians, you're out there, contact family life, and see if you can get one of these sweethearts in your home. The Lord will give you the grace for it. Once He gives you that grace, once He gives you that opportunity, He will give you the grace to lead that child.
All right, I'm going to throw a tough question now. We know that the Lord can do anything. How does the finances part of this work? Because I was checking and I looked to see what the government, what the authorities contribute. And I said, wow, that wouldn't even work for the Chinese food meal that you guys shared with your kids on the anniversary. I know I'm being very mean here. I know that the government will probably shut me down and I don't have any more talk after this. But tell me, what is the financial part of this? How does that work?
Very minimal. You just have to make up in your mind that you're going to pour in love, pour in your that's one way of saving up treasures in heaven, and just taking care of the child. Everything is expensive now, so you just have to give up yourself, give up the best of
what we've experienced also is that they have a lot of aunties, both natural on both sides, my siblings, her siblings, and the fashion and beauty ladies and brothers, they are, and young men, trust me, and young adults now, some of them married, they look out for these kids.
They are the sea of love.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just the timing of God. I remember as soon as we got married, there were two prophetic ministries to us, and both of them were saying to us in two different settings, don't worry about children. I'm like, okay, so many years later.
That we saw what? We're told not to worry about children, or worry about money, or worry about ministry.
Right. So taking care of these kids is very costly. My wife is also a trained dietitian, and so she's able to make ends meet. That's one of the things that attracted me to her too. She cooks really quickly and nicely. When I can get her to cook. So
the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
All right. Let's finish up because we don't have much time. Words of encouragement. I know you have said it over and over already. Come to family life. But what is one tip that you would give to families out there regarding fostering? One tip.
If you've been praying, trust God. God will show you that child. He'll show you the way. I remember one lady sharing with us, she went to visit some children, and on the way out, one of these little children has held on to her finger like, you're not leaving here, you're not leaving me. And that's why I called her to, so just allow yourself to get close to the children and to feel what they're going through. Some of you may not be the ones that take a child directly, but maybe you can help to care. Maybe you can bring some gifts for them, especially extra food and whatever. So whichever way you take it, the children are precious to the Lord. And, we're not going to call them no names. They remind Jesus of the kingdom of heaven.
In memory of Mrs. McCarley from Family Life, a passion for children. If you love the Lord, He wants you to love His. So if He's putting it in your heart, take a child. Call family ministry. The numbers are 876-410-7704. This is Fraser Williams, and she will get you in there. She and Mrs. Burnside. Between the both of them, you'll be holding a bundle of joy very soon.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for this evening's enlightenment. We really appreciate it. We're going to have to wrap up now. Thank you so much for joining us. Andrew and Donette. I'm talking to you like you're my bona fide bridges. Thank you so much. And audience, thank you so much for being with us. If you have any questions of a personal nature or you're concerned about a friend or a family member, call the Family Life Ministries. For our center in Portmore, the number is 876-939-7917. And for more information on our services or for our counselors in Kingston and other parts of the island, contact our head office at 920-1034 or 926-8101. Note that appointments can only be made by calling the offices. So call the office, all right? Keep up to date with what's going on. Find us on Facebook, and you can go to our YouTube channel. Our verse for today is 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 11. It says, look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. Gonna leave you with that. Blessings, blessings. Have a good day.